Hey guys! Happy Tuesday, even though it might really be a different day of the week. But I hope everybody's having a great start to their week. I hope that you have some positive things coming your way. And if you don't, try to find some. Because I bet if you look around, you'll find some. Today, I wanted to go over my why because I haven't talked about that in a couple of episodes. I want to go over some lyrics that were selected for a specific chapter in my book, Scenes from My Skeleton Closet. And then I want to talk about the strategy of the day, which today it's time and space. That's the name of the strategy. And then I'm going to share a little bit from the manual, the TCIS manual. So that's Therapeutic Crisis Intervention for Schools. I know you're probably like, okay, why are we like talking about schools and stuff when we're adults watching this and we don't, those strategies won't work for me, like that kind of attitude. This is the thing about like strategy use and skill use. Like, it is what you make it. So whether you're 6 years old or 60 years old, if you know how to do the skill or you know how to perform the strategy, chances are you're going to be able to save yourself. You're going to be able to make yourself feel better. So I will read you a little bit from there as well. Okay, first things first. I want to share that my why is number one because I am a stakeholder in the world of mental health. I have been a mental health warrior since I was about 12 years old. I've been taking prescription medication and going to all kinds of therapy and treatments and all kinds of stuff ever since I was 15. And then the ball kept rolling and things got really out of hand a couple times along the way. I'm very, very fortunate doesn't even describe, like, I'm unbelievably fortunate to have my parents who are probably two of the best parents in the entire world, because anybody else, I feel like, I know people say, oh, well, it's your kid, so I would never turn my back on my kid. Yeah, okay. Say that to somebody who has literally had the shit kicked out of them by me while we're riding in a car and I'm wrapping a seatbelt around my neck while it's plugged in, buckled in. So, yeah, I'm a big stakeholder. This all matters so much to me, and it always will. I actually paused writing my second book because I felt like I was at a good stopping point, A, and B, I wanted to focus on continuing to make content for my YouTube channel. So hopefully we can go live once we get 50 subscribers. So if you have friends that are into talking about mental health, listening to mental health stuff, please direct them this way and encourage them to subscribe, because once it is live, it'll be way more fun. It'll be interactive, and in real time, people will be able to like ask questions, give feedback, give comments, disagree with me, agree with me, whatever it might be. I look very forward to all of that. So, 17 away. All right, so another piece of my why is for all the people that are voiceless, for all the people that suffer in silence and just don't have the courage yet to stand up for themselves and recognize that they can have a wonderful life. It might not be easy, but they can still have a wonderful life no matter what illness they are stuck with. So I believe in giving people hope. I believe that hope is the most powerful force on the planet. I'd say love comes like as a close second, but not everybody has love. But I think it's fair to say that everybody could have hope, for sure. So, last but not least, we have to fight the stigmas. Oh, the stigmas. Oh, the terrible shit people say. I mean, I'll tell you what, some advice. When you're on social media and you're looking at whatever it is, and something comes up about mental health and it's very offensive to you, I would typically encourage someone to like comment back and stand up for yourself. But here's the deal. The social media world is not the same as like if you were in person. If you were in person and someone was telling you some terrible shit about yourself and saying you're fucking crazy and you don't deserve to live and things like that. I've heard those things before. So anyway, the most important thing is that there are other people that can see stuff on Facebook, see stuff on TikTok, see stuff on Instagram, whatever. There's a million now. But do not buy into it. Do not let it bring you down. It is like if you read something and it already evokes an emotion, whether it's a strong like rage emotion or like a sadness emotion, it's if I were you, and it took me a long time to like get to the point in my life that I could even do this, because I always wanted to fight. That's always been my MO. But yeah, if the people that are writing these crappy, like mean things all over the internet, like trying to like start shit with you or trying to bully you, I would immediately block them. Like I wouldn't reply to their shit. I wouldn't give them a drip of your attention. They're not worthy of it. Not for a second. And you know what? It takes a really, 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 really shitty person to have to hurt other people to feel good about yourself. Yikes. And we're the crazy ones. All right. I'm going to share with you the lyrics that I had in one of the chapters of Scenes from My Skeleton Closet. This is called The Cure, and it's by Lady Gaga. If I can't find the cure, I'll fix you with my love. No matter what you do, I'll fix you with my love. And if you say you're okay, I'm going to heal you anyway. Promise I'll always be there. Promise I'll be the cure. So, short story. When I used to teach, I was a special ed teacher working in a self-contained class. There were students that had predominantly social emotional disabilities and have just experienced so much trauma in their lives that it has impacted them on a level that is out of this world. So every day was like a brand new day, and it was tricky, and it was exciting, it was nerve-wracking, it was a lot of things. But they say like when you're a teacher, like they're your kids, and like or you take them home with you, like in your heart. There is one boy that like still has my heart. Like I still run into him, and like it's just so incredible to see him continue to grow, to get smarter, to get more in control of himself and his emotions, using his words. I mean, it's awesome. But I used to listen to the song The Cure on my way to work every single day. And it used to make me sob my eyes out. So go figure. I know that up front that it's going to make me cry, yet I choose anyway to listen to the song on repeat for my, 20-minute ride to work or whatever. And I would cry and cry and cry, but then I would feel so much better because I needed that release. Because I was about to go back into the trenches. I was about to go back into some really hard stuff, and there's no time for you to need assistance, or you to you know it's not about you, it's about the kids. So I would park into my parking spot. I would wipe my tears, and I would kind of just take a deep breath and be like, all right, let's do this. Let's make these kids have an awesome day at school today. So every time I hear The Cure, I think of one of my little buddies who's not so little anymore, but he was in first grade when I had him in the beginning. All right, moving on. The strategy of the day is time and space. Time and space. So I'm going to read you just a little blurb from the TCIS manual. That's Therapeutic Crisis Intervention for Schools. It says children who have experienced complex trauma often have difficulty regulating emotions even in routine, everyday situations. Consequently, all family and friends need support, guidance, and training in using developmentally appropriate strategies to prevent, de-escalate, and manage a situation in which an upset child uses socially inappropriate or aggressive behavior. That is, staff need to understand that trauma often underlies challenging behaviors. Your people must have skills that facilitate the prevention and de-escalation of crisis situations. So I can't tell you how many people across my career have referred to, when I taught the kids in the self-contained class, they said, oh, well, Steph teaches the bad kids, or they're jerks, or they always fist fight, and they always throw stuff at each other. I mean, yeah, maybe some of that stuff is true, but what's also true is that they're all somebody's baby. So, and knowing that they've been through so much trauma in their worlds, in their short little lives, no wonder they're jumping off of furniture. No wonder we're flipping tables. It made sense to me from the beginning. And that's because I've had a lot of trauma. So I know how it can really make an imprint on you and change you. So the strategy of the day that I want to give you, and we'll wrap things up. So time heals all things. Not sure I believe in that, but it's been said anyway. And space means away from, or not with that person, or not in that place. This is customizable to every human being. So maybe when I'm pre-crisis, I am starting to escalate and need to be alone with my door shut, with no one else in the room. Eventually, when I'm ready, I'll come back to reality and exit the room, and chances are try to be with my husband because he's my person. Now, I'm somebody that for a long time was a cutter. It is still a tricky habit because it is a coping strategy. It's just a horrible one. It's toxic. You shouldn't do it. But because that was a factor in who I am, my husband wouldn't really like it for me to go into my closet room and open the door and leave the door shut. That would totally stress him out. So we kind of I would leave the door cracked a little bit, just so like he had the peace of mind, like, all right, she's okay in there. But still, all the while, giving me time, however much that meant, and giving me space, letting me be alone like I said I wanted to be. I didn't want to talk about it right then. I wasn't in a place that I could talk about it right then, whatever it was. So, next time you're trying to help either yourself or somebody else, keep in mind that giving yourself or the individual that is in pre-crisis or crisis, giving them, time and space to kind of work it out just on their own in their head, that can be super valuable. Super valuable. Because who wants to open up about something really difficult to talk about when somebody's like breathing down their neck, like, hey, tell me what's wrong. Oh, you're so upset. You keep crying. I want to talk to you about it. That would get somebody knocked out in my house. Like, sorry, but it's just time and space are important. They really are. And it's also okay to request time and space. So, like, maybe you're in the middle of an argument with your significant other. There's been times that I have said, you know what? I need a few minutes. I need it. And I walked away and went into a different part of the house. It resulted in us being able to come back to the conversation like 10 minutes later, wrap the conversation up, come to a good resolution, and, everything ended up working out. But it would not have if it wasn't for time and space. I hope you guys have a great rest of your week, and I will see you next week. Bye.